In today's video, we're going to teach you how to take control of your BMW valved exhaust with dÄHLer. Hey, this is Bryan. Thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and check us out at kiesmotorsports.com. I absolutely love our 2022 xDrive G80 M3. It is the best car that I have ever owned. What made it better? Adding a dÄHLer exhaust. But BMW put some functionality in this car that doesn't make any sense, so today we're gonna change it. All right, so let's talk about what I mean. So right now, the valves are completely closed and it's in neighbor-friendly mode, the quietest mode that you can get this M3 to go in. Zach, give it some revs. All right, so as you can see, it's got nice tone and all, but it's way too quiet. Now, when Zach puts it in M mode, it's supposed to open the valves, but what we found is that it doesn't fully open the valves. So listen to this while we have another picture on the screen that actually shows what the valves are doing. Now, while that sounded amazing, the valves aren't completely open for whatever reason. However, with dÄHLer, you can hack the system to force them wide open to make it sound like this. Crazy. As you just heard, by adding the dÄHLer flap controller, we're able to force those flaps completely open. Now, why doesn't BMW allow you to do this from the factory? You know, why does theirs like modulate when you rev it? I have no idea. Probably has to do with some kind of sound regulations or something. But with dÄHLer, you can force it open. Not only does it work on the dÄHLer exhaust, which sounds incredible, but you can even use it on a stock exhaust. Now, don't expect your stock exhaust to sound like this, but it will enhance the sound of any valved exhaust. Let's take the G80, we'll throw it on the lift, and we'll show you how easy it is to get this functionality in your car. As you can see, we are going to be using a lift so that you guys have the best viewing of what we are going to be doing. Typically when you do this, a lot of times you don't even really need to lift the vehicle at all. You can slide under it. Now, if you're lowered or something like that, you may want to jack up the car and put it on something like ramps or a jack and jack stand just so you have a little bit more clearance. But without further ado, let me put it up in the air so you guys can see what's going on. All right, so here is a look at our dÄHLer flap control module. Now you will notice that mine is a little bit scratched up. That's because before we make videos for you guys, we like to do independent testing to make sure that it is a good product. And I will say, since we've taken this off, I've really missed it and I can't wait to put it back on. So you also notice that mine has 2 wires coming out. There is a version that has 2 wires and then there's a version that has 1 wire. So a 2-wire version would be cars that have 2 actuators. So you can see I have a flap over here and then a flap over there. And then as it sounds, if you only have 1 wire coming out of the box for the single flap, it's only for cars that have a flap on one side. As far as the installation is concerned, we have 2 sets of these plugs, and basically all we're going to do, we're gonna take the factory plug out, we're gonna plug it into here, and then we're gonna take our dÄHLer plug, plug it into the actuator, do that on the other side, mount the box in a safe location, and that's it. That's really all it takes. One of the things that I love about this, there's no need for any external power. It gets all the power it needs right from the BMW OEM connections. It's plug and play, and you can easily reverse it without anybody knowing that it was ever installed. Now, although these units are sealed, we never recommend having them in an exposed location because as you're driving down the road, if you have it mounted up here and maybe there's a large rock in the road, it could crack it and it could damage it. So what we're going to do is look for a spot where we can have it where it's safe from the elements. Again, it is waterproof, but we don't want it to ever crack or anything. So what I did last time that worked really well is I mounted it in here. So you can see this whole thing is just an empty cavity. So we're gonna have it there. So now that we know where it's going to go, I'm just gonna sit it in there just for 1 second, just so it's not on the ground. And then we can wire everything up and then we'll do a final mount on that. So with our first flap, we'll start close and then we'll work our way far. We're going to pull this little tab like that. Then we're going to press on the tab and then remove it. So that's how easy it is to remove. Then you can take your new connection, plug it in like that, and then lock it with a little gray tab. Now we're going to take our dÄHLer connection. We're going to reach up, slide it in, lock it in place, and this side's done. So you can see how easy this really is. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to take our wires and we're going to feed them behind the heat shield here so they stay protected from the exhaust, and you'll soon see it right there. And then you can just guide it and feed it through the rest of the way, and then you can see them pop out over there. Now, once you've done that, what you can do, just take your wire over here, pull up on your gray tab, press in on your tab, remove that. And then plug your connection in, lock it in place. Plug it in, lock it in place. Okay, then I'm going to remove this 10 mil right here. And this is just so I can route the wires better. All right, now one thing that you will notice that's a little bit different on mine is I do have dÄHLer exhaust, which you might not have. So with the dÄHLer exhaust, there is a clip extension plug, which goes like that. So typically it would come out more over here. So I do have this extra wiring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosely loop it here, and I'm going to zip tie this together so that I can make sure that all the wiring here is super neat. And then I'm going to pull it through, and then I'll show you how to secure it over there. I'll feed these wires through here. Okay. We can reinstall our 10 mil. Then what we're going to do is just tidy up the other side. So I'm going to pull this out just so all of our wires go up one spot. Okay, just going to push this through here like that. Same with this. Now, as far as mounting the control unit is concerned, so some people, what they like to do is they like to drill a couple holes in here and then route it with zip ties. I like it so that you can remove it and reinstall it. So they make this Scotch extremely strong Velcro. It's basically plastic Velcro, and it makes it super convenient. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a couple strips of this stuff, and then that way it's going to be super strong, super removable, and just really easy to use. Now, before I actually mount my control box, what I want to do is I want to tie up a little bit more of this wiring just to make sure that it's as neat as we can get it. And I also want to make sure that it's not going to be rattling around. So I'm just going to put some zip ties on here. Okay, this has some super sticky adhesive on the back. I'm just going to throw this up here. That's how I got it a little bit scratched up the first time. And then reach in. And there's this really nice flat spot right there. Get it to it here. And you can tuck back all this wiring, just like that. And at this point, the installation is completely done. All right, so at this point, everything is fully installed, which you saw only takes a matter of minutes. Anybody can do it. It is super simple to do. But now what I want to do is I want to walk you through how to use it so you can make the most out of your exhaust. So basically, this is the German version. You're going to get the United States version if you order from Kies Motorsports. But basically, ours is just going to have two buttons. The first button is stock mode. So for me, that's this middle mode. And if you want to rev it, whether in quiet mode or in M mode, that's how you would do that if you want to go like that. But if you want the exhaust fully open, you just hit that open button. And then what that's going to do is that's going to make sure that those valves are wide stinking open. Now for me, I won't really carry a remote around, so I'll just leave it over here, but I want to have easy access to be able to turn this exhaust on. So what I did was, just like you program your garage door, I actually programmed my remote so that my third button over here is loud mode. So that way, if I'm driving and I want to make the car loud, all I need to do is reach over, tap that, and it opens my valves all the way, which I think is super cool that it's fully integrated with the BMW remote system, and it is a ton of fun. So once again, with this kit, you get full control over your valves. I don't know why BMW doesn't build that functionality into the car. They even tease you. They put this little exhaust button over here, and you're like, oh yes, finally I can control my valves. No, that makes it like neighbor friendly for a little bit, but it never does the opposite and make it even louder than it was before. With these kits, they're super high quality. These are made in Germany. They come with a 3-year warranty. And one thing I love about it is that it's not tied to a VIN. So say you want to switch it. So say I want to take it off and I want to put it on my F80 M3, it's compatible and it works. You just need to make sure that it's a 2-valve system or it's a 1-valve system. If you try to put a 1-valve system on a 2-valve car, it's gonna get a little weird. But outside of that, if you sell your car or something like that and you want to just sell it, you can sell it because it's not tied to your VIN. And it works on both F-Series and G-Series. So once again, my name is Brian, that's Zach. Thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe and check us out at kiesmotorsports.com. And if you are looking for a flat module from dÄHLer, we have them linked for you down in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.